Hey guys, welcome to the fourth day in this quick sculpting week where we're exploring a lot of different ideas and creatures, techniques and stuff while having some fun. I have bad news for you guys. I have really bad news. I was working on this guy. I was actually recording this video, and 16 minutes into the video, it crashed. The ZBrush crashed. I couldn't recover the subtool. I thought I saved or did a quick save, but I didn't, and we lost the progress. So as you can see, we did the roll. We threw the dice, and we got a number 2. We actually got a number 6 first. Let me see. Yeah, so we got the 6, and the 6 is the mummy. So we re-rolled, and we got the 2, and the 2 was this swamp creature thing. So I was working on it. You can see the whole progress here. It was looking pretty nice. I actually liked where this was going, but we lost him. So I'm gonna do something here because I want to keep it fair for you guys, and I don't want to cheat. We're gonna toss a coin. Okay, so we're gonna flip a coin. If we get heads, I'm gonna keep the same number. Okay, I'm gonna just keep the same number 2, which is the swamp creature, and I'll just do it again. If we get heads, is we keep the creature. Tails, we are gonna redo it. We're gonna roll a new die, and let's see which creature we get. So that way we keep it fair. But I'm gonna leave this open. If you guys liked where this was going, and if we don't get it, let's flip the coin first. Tails. Okay, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna roll a new die, and we're gonna start over with a new creature. Now, I'm gonna leave this open for you, and you guys are gonna let me know if you want me to do this. If you guys liked where this guy was going, like if you wanna see me repeat this process, let me know, and tomorrow we won't roll a die, and we will do the swamp creature. I'll have a little bit of preparation, of course, because I already did 15 minutes of warm-up here, but if you guys like to see where we can take this guy into like a nicer effect, just leave us in the comment, and then tomorrow we want to do a dice, and we will do the swamp creature. Now, I'm gonna roll a d8 again, and let's see what we get. It will be very funny if we get the number 2 again. 8. We don't have number 8. That's the werewolf. So today we're gonna continue with the werewolf. Again, if you guys like where this guy was going, let me know, and I'll be happy to do it again for you guys. So let's do the werewolf, and I'm gonna jump into my tools here, and I'm gonna start starting my projects, and let's start with the dynamite right here. Now, I do want to do a full body because I think one of the things that makes werewolves like really scary is like the whole pose, right? So let's do the whole body in this first couple minutes. We're at the 2-minute mark, around the 2-minute mark, so I'm gonna go all the way until the 30-minute mark. So this is the torso. I'm gonna create this sort of like X shape for the torso with just a move brush. As you can see, it's just a move brush. I usually don't work with dynamic turn on, so just a move brush like this. And then we're gonna go here, mask this out, and again with the move brush, I'm just gonna start moving this up to create the neck. That's the neck, and then just create like the wolf head like this. Let's give a little bit more volume to the sides, and let's give him the ears, which are gonna be going back like this, very like fast accelerating shapes is when the shapes are going forward. I was also talking. I think it was a good video because I was talking about the growth as an artist in the 3D world, and the kind of like advices I would give in each specific stage. So I'm going to continue with that, okay? I'm going to be doing, of course, a little bit of explanation here, but I'm going to be explaining to you what I think are the growth sections of an artist. So when you start as an artist, when you first start learning 3D, some of you guys might be just discovering our channel, in which case, welcome. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like. If when you're starting 3D, you're very limited by the tools, right? Because you don't really understand how all of the tools work necessarily, and you're learning where the shortcuts are, what each element does, and how to best get like the result that you're going for, right? That's the usual thing that we all do, or we all experience when we're just learning. I'm experiencing that right now, for instance, with new software that I'm learning. So it's kind of like this learning curve where you're just understanding how pretty much everything works. So that's the arms, like the basics for the arms. Now, small parenthesis here. For the legs, when you have like a character like this and you have like trilateral legs, what's gonna happen? And I think we've mentioned this before, but the legs are gonna go forward like this. That's your upper leg. So something like that. And then from this area right here, you're gonna have your lower leg, which is something like this. And then from here, you're gonna have the metatarsals, which are pretty much like the bones on your feet. So these guys are gonna be going down. So what happens with this sort of creatures is they're kind of like walking on their tippy toes. So that's like the metatarsus. This is like the heel, and then of course from here we're gonna have something like this. So that's like the usual angle that we get. Now this looks a little bit silly, so I'm just gonna grab the whole thing here, bring this to the pelvis point, and just, whoa, careful there, just don't join them, bring them out, so he looks a little bit more menacing. Now right now of course we don't have any anatomy, nothing, so that's why it looks very weird. I'm gonna grab the elbows here again with mask, and then just with W just bring this forward like this. Usually we model characters with hands facing front, but in this case I'm gonna have the hands facing backwards. This is not something that you would normally do for production, because it becomes a little bit difficult to rig. It's not impossible, but it's a little bit difficult to rig. And there we go. So that's cool. Now I definitely want to make him a little bit more like savage. So I'm gonna cut here like this, so that we can select the rib cage, and then I'm gonna move this pivot point about there, and I'm gonna like really bring him down, and then grab the head, bring this pivot point like forward there, and then just bring the head forward. There we go. So he looks a little bit more menacing. So we have here in Mexico it's like our one of the breeds that's a national, called the Xolo Squinkle. Xolo Squinkle. And this guy, if you've seen the Coco movie from Pixar, it's the one Dante, the dog. They're very ugly because they are almost they don't have a lot of hair, and they're very derpy. So I'm gonna go for this sort of effect. So I want to keep this werewolf a little bit thin. It's not gonna be like a super buffed werewolf. It's gonna be a little bit more like a Xolo Squinkle. So yeah, as I was mentioning, when you first start as a 3D artist, you're gonna be learning a lot of softwares, and it's gonna be difficult at first. So my best advice for people that are just starting is try not to focus on doing like super ambitious projects. Try to focus on doing small, easy, relatively easy projects. Of course, they need to be challenging and they need to help you learn stuff. But make sure that it's something that you can accomplish to a very nice, or with a very nice success rate. So things like, if you've taken our Maya course, like the barrel, like the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, like we have a lot of exercises on that course that are meant to be easy to follow, easy to explain, easy to learn, so that you understand what are the principles, or what the principles are that we're looking for when we're doing 3D work. If you're sculpting here in ZBrush and you want to learn how to sculpt like amazing characters like Kratos from God of War, or any of those great monsters that you see in ArtStation, then I would suggest start small. Try doing like, I don't know, like a hand. Try sculpting just a hand. Try sculpting just the head of a female character. Try sculpting a skull, like a raven skull. Like we also have the Intro to ZBrush course, and we also do those sort of things, because I found throughout my experience that making sure that you guys succeed and that any student succeeds with easy to follow exercises keeps you motivated. Because when you try, like I've had this happen a million times, a student will come and say, hey teacher, I want to try and do, for instance, Iron Man's helmet, which is not super difficult, but it is challenging, and it's the first 3D model that they're going to be doing. They usually end up with a model that's not looking great. Like there's a lot of issues, topology issues, form issues, proportion issues, and then you see your work, you spent like 2-3 weeks working on it, and you see how it ended up, and you're like, man, 3D is hard, I don't want to do this, look at this, it looks horrible, doesn't look anything like the movies. So however, if that student had waited and started practicing, maybe modeling like a revolver first, modeling like a military helmet, just like a traditional one of those like green helmets. Like if you start small, make sure you master those techniques, and then keep on pushing yourself with more and more complicated things. That's one of the ways in which you can do it, and I think it's easier to do that when you're in the, I call it the noob stage, when you're just a noob in the 3D world, and you're basically just learning the ins and outs of the tools. That's my advice. So when you're in the noob stage, when you're just learning, I strongly recommend you guys focus on quantity. Do a lot of work, a lot of small models, a lot of small sculpts, quick sculpts, just to get the hang of the programs, of the softwares, and to let me grab the select lasso here, and to get comfortable with the tools, because at first that's going to be your biggest enemy. You're going to be fighting against the tools quite a bit, and it's horrible. So the faster you go through that stage, the faster you actually get into this like mastery of the softwares, the easier it's going to be. Here I'm going to add like the rib cage. So it's gonna be like the rib cage going forward. Usually you do see like the rib cage border on the front. So it's kind of like this, and then on top of the rib cage you're gonna find this pectoral muscles. There we go. And then remember the little muscles that we talked about, that's radius. So that would be like roughly about there. Again, not a lot of time. We're at 5 minutes in, so I think we're in a good position. But yeah, so again, if you're just starting 3D, focus on small things. Like these exercises, these quick sculpts that we're doing, these are great. These are super, super great because they're gonna allow you to learn things from the 3D world, from ZBrush, in a very nice way. So yeah, you're never like, I know the speed sculpts are cool because it's like, damn, this guy's going like really fast. He's doing like all the anatomy in a blink of an eye, right? And yeah, I mean, it's not perfect anatomy. I would spend like several hours fixing all of this. You will never be working at this speed in a production pipeline. Like your studios or the studios won't expect you to be doing this sort of thing at this speed, because it's just, you're just gonna be making a lot of mistakes, and that's not good. So a character, usually you would get like 2-3 weeks to finish it fully, so don't worry about this. But it's a great way to understand how you work, how fast you work, which areas you struggle with, which areas are easy to you. Like all of those things, like understanding how you approach things as a 3D artist is going to be super, super valuable, and that's why I recommend this sort of like quick sculpting things. So let's hide the character for just a second. Well, not the whole character, just want to hide like the upper torso. There we go. So that we can focus on the legs. Legs are going to be super important in this one because since he's walking on like the tippy toes, then there's going to be a lot of muscle here. So on the legs here, we have something called the quadriceps. There are four four muscle like segments that combine together into this like gigantic powerhouse of a muscle. And yeah, so we're going to have that right about there. And then on the back side here, of course, we have the glutes. So we're gonna add a little bit of a glutes. He needs a tail. I need to add the tail eventually. Oh, let's fix a little bit of the back here. I know he's like has this arching back. This is where the pelvis would be. Like we would see like the pelvic bone like going forward. It's a little bit too much. So that's why it's important to know anatomy, because all of this applies to any creature that you're sculpting. Back here we have the biceps femoris, which is another muscle that goes here on the side, and another one that goes on the outer side and on the inner side. They're not going to have as much volume as the front, but they are going to be visible. So important that we add them. And then on this one right here, which is like the lower leg, the bone is very prominent on the front. So I'm gonna like sharpen this thing quite a bit, like this. And then back here, I am gonna add more volume, which is like the calves, right? In Spanish we call them chamorros. It's one way which we say it. And then these are like the foot, right? So this again is, they're like the metatarsals. They're the bones that connect your heel to the bone. I'm gonna do a quick save here just in case we lose everything again, because I really don't want to do it again. It's not that I don't like to sculpt, but it's frustrating, right? When you're working for a long time and then something bad happens. So there we go. That's a nice, yeah, that's a nice body, right? Like not bad for only 12 minutes or like 10 minutes of effect here. So I'm definitely gonna give him the tail. Let's just mask an area right there, and then with my move brush, I'm just gonna move this back. Oh, what the hell? Let's reset the pivot point. There we go. Move this down. What am I moving? It's like I'm moving like the front. Oh, I'm moving the front view. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So let's change this back to mask pen. Create a little like tail element. There we go. Dynamesh, and then I'm gonna use my move brush to push this thing like this. And we're probably gonna give it a little bit of volume. Well, we definitely need to remove some volume here on the tip, because you know tails become tiny as they go back. They are fluffy. We need to start adding like a little bit of like this sort of like hair effect. So I'm just gonna sketch it. I don't think we're gonna have time to like actually sculpt the hair, but we can sketch this and create this sort of like indication of hair. Right. So that way it kind of looks like a fluffy tail, right? I'm using the snake hook, which is a very aggressive brush, but in this case, I think it works quite nice. Now, I know I said that the cholos don't have as much hair, so I'm just gonna add like probably like a little bit of a mohawk, like up here. Again, it's just the snake hook brush, and then maybe just like a little bit of fur here on the back, right? Like I don't want to have like a completely hairless werewolf. That would be really weird. So maybe just a little bit here. Again, I'm gonna use my snake hook to kind of like push a couple of like hair silhouette here and there, right? Just to give an indication of the hair. There we go. That looks good. So I think we're in a good position here. Let's fix a little bit of the anatomy over here. Let's bring the legs a little bit further up. There you go. The hips. Like this thing does not exist, so let's flatten it out. Usually we have like this curvature on the lower back. So let's add the curvature, and let's keep like this line right there. Over here, I have a couple of muscles, so I'm just gonna roughly indicate where they are, just a little bit of volume here and there. Again, just so that when we see it from the back, if we see it from the back, we see this kind of thing. Now let's focus on the head, because we definitely need to work on the head. So that's usually one of the most important parts of a character, and you definitely wanna have some time. So I'm gonna bring my Xolo here to the other screen very quickly, and yeah, we're gonna continue. So now you might be wondering, okay, we talked about being a noob in the 3D world. What's next? What happens after I feel confident in my 3D skills and I can do like very nice work? At that point, I would consider you to be an amateur or a semi-pro character artist or artist in general. And at that point, you can actually go for work. Like you can look for work at that point. You have all of the necessary knowledge to get a job. Now, getting a job it's not easy. It's also not like super difficult, but it's a tricky thing, right? I remember I was fortunate enough to finish my first like 3D program back in 2011, and I immediately got a job in a company that were doing things for video games, assets for video games, animations and stuff. And the thing was, that company was growing. It's still growing. It's a considerably big company over here. They're growing, and they needed people to work with them or for them. So they were not looking for people to be like super experts at the thing. As long as you knew how to move yourself inside the software and you knew how to deliver like 3D assets, they were willing to give you a shot, and you could like work with them for a while. They had a little bit of training as well, so it was a good opportunity. I only was there for like a couple of months because I found another job later on, which was a little bit better. But it was a very good learning experience, and that's what I recommend. Like at that point, once you feel confident, try getting a job. If there's no one willing to hire you, like if you can't move to a studio or something, try doing your own job. Like try creating a little bit of a portfolio, because now at this stage, that's when you need to start focusing on the portfolio. That's when you're gonna be creating things, and that's when you're gonna change your focus from going in the quantity thing where you wanted to do a lot of things very fast so that you could learn. Now you're gonna start focusing on the quality thing, or on the quality side of things, and that's very, very important, because the quality is what's gonna make sure that your portfolio is like really good, right? Like that's what people are going to be looking at when they see like ArtStation. They're going to take a look at your portfolio and they're going to be like, dude, this man, look at the quality of his work. He's really good. He makes really good cars or really good like guns or characters. Like that's what people are looking. That's when they're going to be looking. The works that you do as a student or as a noob, I usually don't recommend my students, unless it's like a really, really good job. I usually don't recommend my students that they submit those to their portfolio, because it paints a wrong light, right? It shows something that's not exactly what they can or will do. So yeah, this guy's looking good, man. I think it's not bad, right? Like for a full body, like a rough sketch, that's not bad at all. Let's add the eyes real quick. So remember a pen over here, and we're just gonna append the sphere, and we're gonna make the eyes really small. There we go. And that's it. So based on the age of the audience that we have here in the channel, and based on the comments and the portfolio that you've shown me, guys, most of you I think are in the learning stage or in the semi-pro stage, and you of course want to keep on going. Experience and time doing this will of course give you more and more tools, but you also need to be improving, like not just by working for a long time. Like I've been doing this for 10 years, but not just because I've been doing this for 10 years am I good at what I do. I keep on learning, I keep on studying, and that allows me to keep on growing, and I still need to learn more. Like I see my work and I still see flaws and things that I definitely want to fix, and that's a continuous learning process that everyone's gonna have. Once you get to that point where you're in a good position financially, like you have a stable job, you have a very good portfolio, people are hiring you, people know about you, that's a great place to be. It feels really good to be there, actually. And I hope, and I'm really sure all of you guys, as long as you put in the effort, you're gonna get there eventually. But the thing about that point is you need to make sure that you're not comfortable. What I mean by that is you need to make sure that yes, you are in a good position now. You finally got to the goal, or one of the goals, but you still need to keep on learning. You still need to keep on improving and seeing where the industry is going, because there's always new things, there's always new elements, new skills, new techniques, new processes, new technologies that you definitely need to learn, because that's what, again, it's gonna make sure that you remain relevant as an artist. Otherwise, you could become obsolete. Like unfortunately, I do have several friends of mine that started doing 3D roughly at the same time as I did, and they got to a position where they had a job, they were doing basic stuff and cool stuff, and then they didn't improve. They just kept on doing the same thing. And now we compare our portfolios, and it's like, dude, like look at this new tool. It's like, oh no, I still be using this old technique or this old process, and you need to update. You need to update yourself. You need to update your skills. Otherwise, yeah, things are not gonna be like, you're not gonna be able to progress in the industry otherwise. So let's make. I think he's a little bit too sharp. So let's do this like this, and we definitely need teeth. I mean, I think this guy definitely needs some teeth. So I'm gonna show you here another cool trick. We did this. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, right? With Dracula and the fangs. So I'm gonna scale this thing up and use stream dynamic, pressing F there to frame and create this sort of like sharp elements over here. There we go. And we're gonna place this right here. So I know that I'm gonna be duplicating this to the other side, but I would like to save myself a little bit of time, and why not add a couple of more fangs right now. So I'm gonna press Control Alt, move this around, move this here, make it maybe longer, and position it right here, like right there. Rotate, position. It's all about like finding the perfect spot. Control Alt again, and drag a new one. Let's go there. This one's gonna be shorter. Control Alt and drag. Let's go there. Let's go there. Control Alt and drag. Let's go in. Let's go there. There we go. So now we have a lot of fangs. Remember, before you do a mirror, it's important that we give each one of them in a group, so that when we mirror, the mirror function knows that those are actually duplicates that we want. And there we go. So we're 23 minutes in. By the way, thank you guys. I know that not all of you hold on all the way until the end. Like I know, like actively watching a 30-minute video is difficult. However, if you are taking a look at the whole process, or if you've been skimming through it and you're at this point, well, welcome to the 24th minute mark. We're in a very good position here with our Sholo Squinkle like werewolf. So yeah. And yeah, again, we were talking about, for those of you that just skipped ahead, welcome. We were talking about my advices at the different stages of your 3D career. And just to summarize, when you're a student, practice a lot, work a lot, learn a lot. When you're a pro or a semi-pro, when you already have a work, you're making a living out of this, you need to do quality work. You need to make sure that every single thing that you do has a lot of quality, because that's the thing that people are going to be taking a look at. And finally, when you're in a position where your work has a lot of quality, you have a work, you're working on a studio, and you want to keep growing, then that's where you specialize on other things. Like you start learning other things, not necessarily because you're going to be using them on the pipeline itself, like on your actual work, on your everyday work, but because you need to know about that so that you can be a better team player, and eventually, why not, a leader, like an art director, a studio director. When you're not going to be modeling and sculpting anymore, you're going to be more in the like supervising, in a supervising role, helping others create amazing stuff. That's usually like the progress. Not everyone does that. There's a lot of artists that don't like managing or roles, and they rather just like keep on sculpting, which is fine. But for instance, myself, I find myself doing a little bit more leading or leadership work in the last couple of months, where a project just lands here in the studio, and I just don't have time to actually like work on the project. So I have several artists that help me out, and I guide them, I show them how to do it, how to approach different things, and they are the ones that deliver the work. So I am more of a lead, like an artist lead, than I was when I first started. There's still some projects that I take and do by myself as a freelance work, but there's others that I definitely need help, because otherwise it would be very difficult to help all the clients at the same time. So yeah, I mean, this guy is looking tight, right? I think I'm gonna go with Damien Standard, and just like define a little bit of the hairs over here. Again, we don't have a lot of time. We have only 6 more minutes before this challenge ends. So I want to make sure that we get like the best possible. I'm already thinking about like the render. The hands, we unfortunately didn't have enough time to finish the hands, so I'm gonna focus on this guy over here. Let's create like this like gnarly sort of like effect over here, kind of like an angry character. And again, this is sketching, so I know there's going to be some issues. I know things are not going to be looking perfect. And remember, by the way, tomorrow we're going to have our final character, which, if you saw the beginning of the video, you guys can help me decide whether we roll a new die, or if we try to do the aquatic creature that we were doing again. And at the end of tomorrow's video, after you finish watching it, please watch it, if you want to, of course. After you finish watching it, you are gonna vote. I'm gonna take a look at the comments on Saturday, when, rather, wait. Now I'm confusing myself. How am I gonna know the results? Oh, I'll know the results. Yeah. So on Friday, I'm gonna be recording the video for Saturday. And I'm gonna be seeing the comments, so make sure to comment which one was your favorite throughout the week, and the one that gets the most posts or the most mentions, we're gonna be polishing him up. We're gonna have, let's say, 30 more minutes on Saturday to polish him up, and then on Sunday we're gonna do a quick very nice render inside of Marmoset to have a nicer portfolio piece to present. So yeah, how are we doing on time? Okay, 5 minutes. We still got 5 minutes. Maybe the hands, can we get the hands done? I don't think so, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do the hands. So I'm gonna use my snake hook again to create like the thumb here. Let's Dynamesh. There we go. So it's gonna be very weird. I mean, we can cheat a little bit and use one of the base meshes, but I don't want to cheat. I've been doing this everything from scratch, so I think we should keep it like that. I think what I'll do instead is I'm gonna delete that finger. And I'm gonna sculpt like a closed hand. So I'm gonna say delete hidden, Dynamesh, and I'm gonna imagine that all of the fingers are just like together. So we'll have like the knuckles here from the claws, like this, like this. Let's do 3 fingers only, and then we'll have like the second knuckle over here. It's gonna be a little bit more sculptural. I'm gonna use my train dynamic to kind of like flatten this out and create this sort of like bony effect. And then this thing we're also gonna like sharpen like this. So it's kind of like a fake hand. You know, you've seen sculptures where they would just like have the hands or the fingers in a weird way. Well, that's kind of like what we're doing here. At least so that if we were to see the silhouette or see him from afar, it kind of looks like the hands are there. So again, it's like a little bit of a fake, right? But that's it should work. It's just like a quick indication of the hands. a gestural approach, if you wish. It's kind of like a doodle of the hands. So let's add a little bit of, we're not gonna sculpt the genitalia, of course, but just like a general indication of what we would expect to have there, just like the volume, right? And there we go. We can maybe add a couple of like strands over here to indicate that this is like hair. Again, it's just a sketch. So there we go. I think this looks pretty good, man. What do you guys think? Looking good, right? Not bad for like a 30-minute quick sculpt. I think we're in a very good position. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of like let's pose him. I think we can do a little bit of a pose. So I'm gonna turn off symmetry. And I'm gonna go to W and I'm gonna turn on all subtools so that we move everything at the same time. And I wanna do like this, like attacking position. So let's see. Do we have? Yeah, we have 2 minutes. Let's see if we can get the. Let's do mask lasso. So this leg right here. Hey, I supposedly turn off symmetry. So we're gonna select one leg. There we go. Let's mask the tail, and then we're gonna go to the bases there, and this one's gonna go like back here. There we go. Oh, now you know what? I think we need to turn off the subtools right now. I'm a little bit worried we're not gonna be able to get this. Let's do the other feet. There we go. Let's move this forward, and then this of course needs to move forward as well, so that it looks like he's actually like having or taking a step. Let's move this one forward like this. There we go. Okay, that's better. And then if that is the arm that's in the front, now I think we do turn everything here. No, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it, guys. Oh, that's a shame. That's fine. Let's do like a small, just a small like movement here. And then let's grab like the arm here. I'm gonna turn off this thing so we'll move this arm back, and then we're gonna go do this. I'm gonna go over this just 1 minute, guys, because I think this is gonna look pretty cool. So we're gonna move this hand forward, and now let's grab like the head like this. Smooth this out, and I'm gonna move this to right about there, and I'm gonna like this. There we go. Hands out. 30 seconds. I was just 30 seconds over, and I think maybe I was good, depending on when the video started. So there we go, guys. We have this very nice werewolf sculpture. Now this is a full body, almost full body. We just missed or the hands and the feet. But hey, 30 minutes to create this thing. I don't think it's half bad, right? Like I think this looks pretty dang cool. So hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked the little speech about industry standards. So remember, just a quick summary: when you're just learning, do a lot of quantity. That's the thing you want to focus on. When you already know what you're doing, then focus on quality. Make sure that whatever you produce, you're always producing at the best quality that you can. And finally, once you're really established and you really know what you're doing, learning. Keep learning. Don't ever stop learning, because you need to keep yourself updated. So that's it for today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.